Good afternoon, Lancaster. Welcome to Lancaster Connects. I am your host, Ben McClure, broadcasting live from the Gardener's Mattress and More podcast studios right here in beautiful Lancaster County. I noticed as we're watching through the that intro video, we've had a number of furry pets and animals on the podcast in the past. It's been a little bit, so maybe we got to find some shows with some furry animals. I think the viewership goes through the roof when there's like a dog or a baby, like a puppy, something like that on the screen. Anyway, got a great guest today. We'll get to Michael Cahill from Team Jennifer Cahill Charities in just a little bit. My co-host, partner in crime, Jeffrey, still not feeling well. So we wish him the best at home in his recovery there. Got a little respiratory thing. So wouldn't be a great thing to have him, here in person. So hope he's doing all right at home, and he just needs to rest up there and come back next week for next week's show. So again, here we are, Lancaster Connects. It is Monday, the 15th of January. I mean, I feel like the year just started, New Year's resolutions and all that. But here we are halfway through the month. I wanted to take time and mention three things. We've got our sponsor for January, has to do with, there they are, Universal Athletic Club, all about resolutions, right? New Year's resolutions, new you. Maybe some of you are on a new fitness path, health, well-being. You're prioritizing health and well-being, and you're on a new fitness path. Universal is a great club. I was actually there this morning at 5 a.m. Doing an hour-long workout with my trainer, Sean, right there in the middle. Sean has a little bit of a struggle going today. He is a Cowboys fan, and he was getting it a little bit this morning in the gym. And of course, I know producer Chris is a Lions fan, so he's in the background. Maybe go Lions. I know he's happy. And tonight we've got the Eagles. Who knows what Eagles team is going to show up? But anyway, back to the show and back to the sponsor. Universal Athletic Club is our January sponsor of Lancaster Connects. They are a fantastic health and wellness center, and it's more than just classes and weightlifting. You see their big revamped weight training floor there. They also have within their facility called the Renewal Center, which is really a different way of approaching health and well-being. There's the Renewal Center website right there. A lot of anti-aging and anti-recovery, not anti-recovery. You want to recover. A lot of different therapies and modalities within the Renewal Center to help your body rejuvenate. Some people do this daily. They do the red light therapy, stretching. There's a massage chair there. There's other, let's say you have an elbow injury or knee, hip, and you need to rehab. There's magnetic therapies. There's a lot of different, again, modalities that you can utilize within the Renewal Center to get that body rejuvenation. So again, some people will do it before a workout, after a workout. They have compression therapy. I've tried that on my arms and legs. And I think every time that I'm in there, I see people doing a number of the different modalities there. So definitely keep the Renewal Center in Universal Athletic Club in mind. In fact, they've got an offer right now through Lancaster Connects. If you mention Lancaster Connects when you sign up for the Renewal Center and some of the classes, kind of an a la carte thing. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to do in the Renewal Center, and you don't have to be a member. Anybody can use a Renewal Center, but you can take advantage of 8 of the different modalities within the Renewal Center at different times. You can pick and choose when and where, when you want to do them. But $99. All you have to do is mention Lancaster Connects, and you get 8 of those Renewal Center services right now through the end of the month. $99. Mention Lancaster Connects. So thank you to Universal Athletic Club for being the sponsor of Lancaster Connects for this month. A couple other quick things at Gardeners. Watchers of past episodes know that in November, we ran a contest that we ran again in December, where we were collecting food donations that we were donating to local food banks. And all you needed to do was bring in a food item or multiple food items. But if you brought in a food item, you got a ticket for each of those food items. let's say you brought 10 items, you get 10 tickets. You were entered into a contest to win a $500 Visa gift card. Our purpose, we wanted to make the biggest food donation we can to local food banks. We kind of have a perpetual food drive here that we run, where we pick up food from customers on deliveries, and we donate those food items monthly to some of the local food banks. Well, in this case, it was just, hey, drop off some food items, enter into the contest. We pulled a winner. We pulled a winner about 2 weeks ago, and we were going to announce it on last week's show, but I blew it. I totally forgot. Anyway, we picked a winner here. Terry Quedenfeld is the winner from December's contest for the $500 Visa gift card through our food donation program that we did. Right now, we're pausing that, but keep your eyes and ears open. We'll do these again. We want to try to make the biggest impact we can with these local food banks, and of course in the community in general. It's why we do this show. All right, last order of business is probably the cutest order of business. One of the cutest order of business we've had on the show. Girl Scout cookies. It's Girl Scout cookies season. I think Chris has maybe a website or a picture to pull up here. We have a friend who has a daughter there. She is Caroline. She is a Girl Scout. She's selling cookies. How can you not buy Girl Scout cookies from Caroline? She has a website, which I think Chris will put up here on the screen, and it'll be in the videos there. But she is selling Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies for me, like I've got a number of different favorites. The caramel delights are awesome. There's a peanut butter and chocolate cookie that's awesome, but I can't have those now because I'm wheat free, gluten free. But they have a gluten free cookie now, and I actually before the show I ordered 2 boxes. So we'll get the details out there. But I just wanted to mention she's got a goal. When you go to her page at the top, you'll see the goal. I think she needs to sell 60 some more boxes of cookies to reach her goal. And, they can ship to you. She can personally deliver them to you if you're here in local in Lancaster. But definitely, give her some support. And of course, anybody in your family or neighborhood that's, selling Girl Scout cookies. Yeah. It's a $6 box of cookies, but it goes to an awesome, cause. And, they're fantastic cookies. So why not? Right. Kind of a win. She says it all there. They're delicious, right? And how can you not buy from Caroline? So there it is. 69 packages left to go. We're trying to help her reach her goal there. Oh yeah. Caramel delight, peanut butter patties. Those are my jams. But again, I can't have those now. So I did the gluten free. Got a couple of the caramel chocolate chip gluten free cookies. But whatever your jam is, some people, Thin Mints, peanut butter sandwich, whatever. They're all good. They all count the same towards her goal. So, if you can support her, support a friend and their family, that would be pretty cool. So there's some of the links, in the chat there. Give it a look there. All right. Well, I think that's enough, of the introduction part of the show. Let's get our guest on here. Today, we're honored to have Mike Cahill from Team Jennifer Cahill Charities. Mike, how are you?
Good today. Trying to stay warm.
Great. Yeah, it's it's funny. Like we're live right now, and right now it's gotten colder. There's been a lot of rain, so the ground is like got a lot of moisture in it. My sump pump, I think, has been running nonstop, for about a week, and now things are starting to like ice up, and we've got some snow coming. And we talked pre-show. You're kind of a snow guy, right?
I love the snow. It's snowing now. Actually, it started early.
Is it really? Okay. Yeah. A couple of flurries.
Yeah,
I know.
can see it out the office window.
I know, when I looked at it over the weekend, it was going to start like sometime Tuesday morning or early morning, something like that. Now it's become this Monday overnight thing. So, I don't know if we'll be open on time tomorrow or not. We've already pushed back our customer deliveries to the next day. Try to keep the team as safe as possible. But I'm kind of with you. I like the snow. But if we're going to have any sort of snow event, I want it to be a big snow event. Not just like an inch or two. Like give me give me 5 or 6 good inches or more. That's kind of what I would prefer.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So
shut it down for a week.
There we go. All right, Michael. So we're going to get into your story and the Team Jennifer Cahill charity story. I just wanted to ask you, since we were talking about New Year's resolutions, do you have a New Year's resolution or something you're looking to do in 2024 here?
Yeah, my New Year's resolution is to not make a New Year's resolution. That way I can break it right away and be into my year.
There you go. Yeah, if you never make one, then yeah, you can't break it.
Yep.
That's right. All right. Well, fair enough. Hey, a resolution doesn't have to be this big grand thing. It could simply be nothing.
just have fun with it. You make those New Year's resolutions. I want to save more than I spend and things like that. And it just never seemed to happen. So,
yep.
I just try to be the best me I can be for the day that I'm in and see where that gets me through the year.
I like it. All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks for playing along. All right. So you're here, you're representing the Team Jennifer Cahill charities. Jennifer was your wife, and I know you have a story behind the charity and behind Jennifer. Can you share a little bit about Jennifer and how the charity got started?
Well, I'll tell you I'll start at the beginning.
Okay, perfect.
Because everybody likes a love story, and Jen's and ours was a whirlwind of a love story. We met in March of 2011.
Okay.
And the first time I saw her, she's one of those gals that, she's sitting in the front of the room. The first thing I noticed was her smile. And I knew a girl like that would never go for a guy like me.
Why is that? Come on.
Other than the pass and go hellos and, there was no conversation till May of 2011. First time we actually had a conversation. I do a large cookout for the recovery community every year in Lancaster.
Okay,
and
great.
Open up my house. It's actually come to be. I view it as their cookout. We just host it at my house. That's all.
Yeah.
And Jen had interest in gardening, and I needed some things done to get the house prepped at the time, and talked to her about that. She came over to help out with that, and that was Memorial Day weekend, 2011, and we went on our first date in June 2011, and got married July 5th, 2011. And
so that was pretty quick.
Yeah, and it was 10 and a half wonderful years with her.
Okay, yeah.
As with any marriage, you have your bumps in the roads and the ups and the downs.
Sure.
But, she was a pretty amazing woman, and I miss her every day, and I'm very open about that.
Yep.
And 2020, fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
Jen was diagnosed with cancer. Couple of months later, about 2 months into her initial treatment, the VA had wanted to do an emergency colostomy. She had a squamous cell carcinoma that metastasized as a colorectal cancer, was metastatic in the liver and the lymph nodes when they found it. The VA told us that it was treatable in her age, that they'd get it and she'd live a long and happy life. As I said, about 2 months into her treatment, she had developed issues, went to the VA to get checked. The VA wanted to do an emergency colostomy on her, which I demanded a second opinion.
Sure.
And had her transported to Lancaster General, who is affiliated with the Adby Barginger Cancer Institute. And they are just phenomenal out there.
Yeah.
Dr. Javari was her lead oncologist, an absolute wonderful woman. She is very compassionate, and she'll take the time, not only with the patient but with the family, to help with the understanding. when there's questions about the treatment and so forth. And Dr. Javari, when we had her transported, they did a exploratory examination under anesthesia to check things out, see what was going on. Turned out that she didn't need the colostomy. The doc said she needed a heavy regimen of Muralax and water. And excuse me a second.
Yeah.
Sure.
Said that she needed a heavy dose of Muralax and water, clean her system out. And Dr. Javari was the one that told me that her cancer was treatable, not curable, and not survivable. Immediately after that exploratory examination, Jen had gone non-responsive. She went into convulsions and went non-responsive. And that was scary. Sure. At that time, and just hearing the news that, this is treatable, not curable, and not survivable, while Jen is non-responsive, I was talking to friends, and of course, I want to know what's going on. So I check into the VA. I'm 100% disabled veteran. Jen was 100% disabled veteran as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And when the VA presented benefits package, they talked to us about a burial policy. It was a $10,000 burial policy.
Okay.
And the way that it was presented, it appeared as though it was part of the benefits package that we received.
Right.
Well, we found out at this time that that's not the case. It's something that you have to apply for within 1 year of enrollment into the VA.
Oh my. So you went from thinking you had this $10,000 benefit to having zero.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
Because we wanted to, get things in place and start working, for the inevitable and preparing for it and making sure that we had all our ducks in a row.
Right. So on top
I had talked to friends about this, and on top of hearing that news,
right.
On top of hearing that news, we're finding out now that we don't have the benefit that we believe we have. So now there's a double whammy.
Yep.
So started talking to friends and family about this, and told them, what we had found out. And there's a pretty common thought that veteran services are free. The veteran what the veteran is entitled to is a burial plot and a marker at a national or a state authorized cemetery. There are qualifications that go through that. Virtually all veterans are eligible for that.
Sure.
They're given the burial plot, a marker, and an allotment of either $200 or $300 or $2,000, depending on that veteran's service, and some other variables. We had found that the mortician's fees, transportation costs, cremation, whatever route you decide to go, that falls on the family. And what we were finding is that on average, there's anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000 that can be left to the family. And the average runs around $5,000 or $6,000 that falls to the family after expenses.
Wow.
So we're obviously not prepared for that. Friends and family started doing fundraisers for us on a personal level. And we created a Facebook page that we wanted to keep people included as to what was going on, where the events were going to be, and how Jen was doing with her treatments and so forth. And over the course of time, we started the Facebook page in July of 2020. Over the course of the next several months, we started gaining a following, and other women veterans from throughout the country were reaching out to Jen or myself, saying that they're in the same position. They didn't know what they were going to do. Jen's story was giving them hope that things would work out for them and so forth.
Right.
We raised the funds to be able to prepay her expenses. And with what was left, Jen said that she wanted this stuff to keep going for other women veterans. So the mission started as being to prepay and pre-plan final expenses and arrangements for female veterans with terminal cancer who don't have life or burial insurance.
Gotcha.
Also to educate on the cancer issue, which there's 20 million veterans nationwide. 2 million of those veterans are women veterans. Mm-hmm. The cancer statistic is that for every picture that's up right now is Marie Sipler. She's the funeral director that tended to Jen's services, and she is just a wonderful, wonderful woman. Very compassionate, very considerate. Sorry for the pause there, but definitely give that shout out to Marie. She's amazing.
And her name again, and where's her?
Marie Sipler. She's with Good Sipler Funeral Home.
Okay.
I think she has 2 locations now. One is in Reamstown.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's just an amazing woman. But as we're going on and developing the organization, we started finding other things, and such as going back to the statistics. For every 100,000 veterans, 505.8 are diagnosed with some kind of cancer annually. Mm-hmm. And of that 505.8, 30%, as a statistic from 2000, it was either 2017 or 2019, stated that 30% of the diagnoses were women veterans.
Wow.
And that number was projected to increase to 40% by 2032.
Wow. And then out of the group of people that are diagnosed with, that have that diagnosis and then get to a point where there's a terminal diagnosis, I would bet that there's a large chunk that don't know anything about the VA and how they might cover something, and probably are in the same situation that you and Jennifer were in. Is that a really high percentage of the people in that situation?
We haven't seen those numbers. We haven't been able to find those numbers in our research. What we have found is that there are a lot of veterans that said, well, I'm a veteran. I'm going to go to a national cemetery and my stuff is free. And well, you better just double check that, because here's what we found out. And they start looking, and they come back and they say, thanks for the information, because now we can start preparing. One of the things that we did put in place as we're walking through this cancer journey, there's a lot of things that happen. We make plans to do something, whatever it may be, going to breakfast with friends or going over to a friend's house for dinner. And Jen says, hey, I can't go. I can't be more than away from the bathroom for more than 5 minutes.
Right.
And I leave because she says, you go, you have fun, you do what you got to do and enjoy it. And don't just stay home for me, as I'm going to be just in bed. And what am I going to do? I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be sleeping. So I'd come back, a couple of 2, 3, 4 hours later, and Jen would be outside pulling weeds or, in the kitchen cooking or, cleaning the bathroom. And I was like, well, I thought you were so sick you couldn't go, and here you are doing this. What did I do to make you mad? Why didn't you want to go? Why didn't you just tell me you didn't want to go? And it's not that she didn't want to go. It's that the cancer and the treatment, it was affecting her this way, that it was making her sick, that she couldn't go. She'd go from having zero energy to, ready to run a marathon in 2 hours time. It was amazing.
Right.
And there's nothing in play to coach the family or guide the family through those processes. You're just kind of figuring out these things on your own. So one of the things that we did is we had put in place a chaplains committee to be able to walk with the family as they're going through that journey.
That's great. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about, the education piece. You said some of your fundraising, where what you're able to raise goes towards the education piece. So how does somebody that's going through this diagnosis, the same as you and Jennifer went through, how do they find you and the education that you and the charity are able to provide? Is it through that chaplain? Is that how that works?
They contact us. We put them in touch with the chaplain. Sometimes it's a matter of getting them in touch with other resources that better suit the need, or it can be more definitive to the answers rather than just a generalized assessment of what we have. Some of it is telling them, this is what we've found out. Here's the courses that we have to take from personal experience. a lot of the education comes from things like, this is a good segue into our Women Veterans Day event. A lot of people are not aware of what Women Veterans Day is, let alone that it even exists. And what that is June 12th, 1948, President Truman signed legislation allowing women to enlist in the armed forces. Prior to 1948, 1917, the U.S. Army created the WANC, which was originally spelled WANC, stood for Women's Army Nursing Corps, was part of the Army Reserve. So 1917 to 1942, women that were coming into the military were coming in through the reserve component in an auxiliary or a volunteer capacity, and we were limited to the medical field.
Right.
1942, the WACs were created. I'm not sure when. I couldn't find a definition, a defined time when the waves were started. But WAC was originally WAAC, Women's Army Auxiliary Corps.
Okay.
And they were starting now to do things like secretarial, mail clerks, administrative, supply and non-combat zones, things like that, as well as the medical. And the waves was Women's Auxiliary Volunteer Emergency Services. They were doing the same things. And again, they were part of the Naval Reserve and the Army Reserve. So in 1948, when President Truman signed that legislation, it allowed women to come into the regular component and be viewed as a member of the armed forces, not an auxiliary or volunteer. So here we are 75 years later.
Yeah.
2008, New York became the first state to recognize June 12th as a state holiday, deeming it Women Veterans Day.
Yeah.
The first Women Veterans Day celebration was hosted in 2018. November of 2022, PA House Bill 2361 was signed, designating June 12th as a state holiday, deeming it Women Veterans Day in recognition of Truman's legislation. So this isn't giving women veterans their own day. It's recognizing a point in time in history that's significant to the country's history, military history, and women's rights. And we believe that this is something that should be recognized and should be celebrated. Besides that, our sisters in arms don't get the recognition that they deserve. And that's what this celebration is about.
I'd agree with that. That's interesting that, and thank you for sharing that timeline in history. I really didn't know any of that. So it's really cool that you shared that on this show, and that you're celebrating it going forward. I know Chris had it on the screen there. You've got an upcoming event. I know it's a few months away here, but let's talk about that. What you do, and I'm guessing it's a fundraising event for the Team Jennifer Cahill Charities. Can you talk about the event that you've got going up?
Yeah, June 8th, which is a Saturday, and June 9th are the dates of the event.
Cool.
June 12th is a Wednesday, so it falls in the middle of the week, being that this is
not a great day for,
Right. Being that this is the second year of a new holiday in the Commonwealth. We're not sure, how the impacts, who's going to have off, who's not. So to do this as an observance date of June 8th for the expo, we're going to be hosting it in Gettysburg. We're talking very closely with the World War II Museum to host it there, which is nice, which would be great for the event, and I feel for the museum.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it comes to be, I mean, this is one of the places that we're talking to. It's not going to be hosted there at this point in time. I'll be meeting with them to discuss things later this week.
Okay.
But we're hopeful that it's going to be at the World War II Museum. This is the 80th year anniversary of D-Day, which is the 6th, is that Thursday. The history in Gettysburg. A lot of people know Gettysburg for the Civil War.
Sure.
They don't realize that Gettysburg played a big part in actually Adams County, Dauphin County, Harrisburg area, played a huge part in the war effort in World War II.
Oh, wow.
Making munitions, parts for tanks, airplanes, bombs, things like that they were needed. That again, women were a part of that, as they were in the factories doing this stuff while the men were overseas.
Right.
So this is something pretty huge to be doing this in Gettysburg right after the 80th anniversary of D-Day. I feel that it's going to bring a lot of light to our sisters in arms, and the real history that's right here in Pennsylvania that people don't realize.
That's great. I've made some notes. We'll definitely share out as we get closer to the event. The handful of shows before that, we'll share the event and talk about it more as it comes closer. Can you talk about, it's a 2-day event. What goes on during those 2 days? And is there a cost to attend? And, why should people attend?
The first day is about celebrating our sisters in arms. Okay. It's about recognizing their service and letting them know that they played a valuable and crucial role to this country's defense. Many women who served do not identify as veterans because of things like being passed over for rank, pushed out of the jobs that they signed up for, and things like that. These are real issues that happen, and because of their treatment, they don't want to identify as a veteran. And we want them to know that they played a very significant role in the defense of this country, and that their service was just as valuable as mine, if not more. Sorry again.
That's okay.
With the with the expo, what that's about is getting the information to these women veterans that are out there. Okay. Making sure that they are aware of the resources both in and out of the VA that can help them. One of the women veterans that we were able to assist is now serving on our chaplains committee as an ordained minister. She came into the organization as a part of the chaplains committee as an ordained minister. And because of some changes that have happened within the organization, she's now, on our board of directors. So it's kind of come full circle for her. Her issue fell outside of what our mission was. Our vision is to be there for all female veterans when they need us.
Right.
So we find a way to do what we can for that woman veteran who comes to us and says, here's my issue. And then we get them in touch with the resources that better suit their needs, both in and out of the VA, and watch their story as they grow. She went from literally nothing to now having her own apartment and working full time, and having a lot of enjoyment in life, going from the story that she tells. And her story is her story. I'm not going to divulge a whole lot of information, but that, and we believe in the confidentiality stuff. So
absolutely.
If she'd want to tell her story and get it out there publicly, we'd be more than happy to set something up with you to get it out there.
And we could tell that story. We'd be honored to tell that story. Couple questions. So there's the education that you provide to really the general public and specifically women veterans. I'm sure there's maybe an estimation maybe you have of how many veterans you potentially been able to impact with just education, but then also there's the fundraising part where you're providing funds for people going through that maybe terminal diagnosis and helping with the burial expenses. How many women have you been able to impact financially in that way?
We haven't done anything in the way of the final expense piece.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So right now, though, we are set up that if we had a woman veteran come to us that was in that position, we'd be able to take care of it.
I got you.
And that's a good place to be.
Right.
And that's a segue into because the cancer scope among the women veteran is such a narrow focus,
right?
We're now broadening the horizons. That ordained minister that I was talking about, the one veteran that we assisted, we're looking into a program to train her and certify her as a peer lead to start doing peer-led support groups for MST survivors, domestic abuse, and things like that. We're looking into what else can we do for that woman veteran who is terminal, has some kind of a terminal illness like a diabetes or something, that she's not able to get up and around, get to the grocery store and that kind of thing, that we'd be able to, once a month, maybe take a round of groceries to her to make sure that she's okay. And these are just things that we're discussing. They're ideas that have come out just to do something to recognize her as a significant part of this country's history and defense.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So it's
sadly,
one of the
question. Go ahead.
Sadly, that the cancer issue, when we were going through that and be in contact by 8 different women veterans, it triggered that thought for Jen that I don't want any woman veteran to go through the things that I went through.
Right.
So I want to do something to alleviate that. We got so narrow. We got so narrow focused and hyper focused on the cancer piece that we kind of blurred some of the other stuff that were going on.
Right.
And now 3 years into this, we're seeing the things that we missed, and we're starting to look to open that up, because our vision is to be there for all female veterans when they need us.
That's fantastic. One thing we always ask, especially, nonprofits, charitable organizations, how can the Lancaster community get involved and or help? Obviously, you need to raise funds, so there's a financial piece, but also I'm sure nonprofits and charitable organizations are always looking for volunteers to help run events and things like that. What kind of help can the Lancaster County or community, Lancaster community, provide to the team, Jennifer Cahill Charities?
We have a array of opportunity here for volunteers. We are an all-volunteer organization.
Right.
Everything that comes into the organization somehow, some way benefits women veterans. Yeah,
great.
We have an office.
Fantastic.
That office has been used as a safe haven.
Oh, wow.
It's there to give them that comfort and offer them that place to go when they need just a place to go. We've had the 3 years that we've had the office. It'll be 3 years in April that we've had the office, and the reason we got the office at the time we started the organization, COVID was just starting. Jen has cancer. We're holding these meetings, in our kitchen, putting Jen to at risk, or going out in the general public, going into restaurants and sitting in the back room at that, their banquet room to have a meeting. And there was a certain danger that went with that because of COVID.
Sure. Yeah. Tough time.
And so we decided that for her safety and her benefit that we should maybe get an office. We found an office, and it's so the 3 years that we've been here, almost 3 years that we've been in this office, twice I've had women veterans that stopped in just to say hi and thanks for being here. And
that's great.
Knowing that there's that safe place that they can go where they're going to be welcomed and not, one in particular stopped in and, you okay? Yeah. And no, not really. And then she just did this verbal vomit for about 15, 20 minutes and gave her a bottle of water and said, "You going to be okay?" She said, "Yes, thank you very much." And she left and haven't seen her since. And she came in
someone to talk to.
She showed her ID to prove that she was a veteran. But she just needed to vent. And sometimes that's enough. It's just that they know that there's somebody that's here for them. And as long as we can do that, we're doing okay. The American Legion right now has their big push of Be the One in the suicide prevention. Suicide is, if you had the same amount of women veterans as you do male veterans, the number of women veteran suicide attempt and successful attempt would actually surpass the male counterpart.
Wow.
That's large in part because of the MST, because of the way that they're being treated, and that feeling of being insignificant. And we want to change that. We want to be the one that they know that they can turn to and count on, that we will do whatever we can to help them, at least, if nothing else, find the resources that are going to better suit their needs.
That's fantastic. Michael, if there are people listening that want to learn more about the efforts of Team Jennifer Cahill Charities, they want to learn more about the event coming up and future events, and also who might want to get involved, volunteering, donating, whatnot, where's the best place to do that? I know you've got a website, you've got a Facebook page, and Chris can bring those up there on the screen. Is that the best way to get in touch with you and to find more information?
Phone call. I'm an old school kind of guy.
All right. Yeah, I think we had your phone number on the screen there, 717-371-3035. That's yourself?
Yep. But to go back, I'm sorry, I kind of went off on a little tirade there, but to go back to,
no, it's cool.
to the opportunities that are here, we are new, and the collection of people that we have are friends that knew Jen,
right,
that watched her journey. Some of us are veterans, some of us are civilians. And we come from a wide range of background. Our chaplain served, Ken Williamson. He served with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, retired as a captain. And he's just been phenomenal in his role as our lead chaplain. Our IT director was stationed on a guided missile cruiser.
Wow.
Myself, I was Army infantry. The ordained minister that I just told you about, she was a cook. And we had a bus driver and somebody else that has a background in not bookkeeping, receptionist, secretarial type. There's nobody in the organization that really had any grasp of, business development.
Sure.
So, things got done very backwards. We like, yep, this sounds like a good idea. Let's do it. Holy cow. What do we do?
Well, hey, that you got to get started somehow. And what I'm feeling like, I feel your heart, for, the cause, and I feel, really Jennifer's heart coming through with what you're putting together, and the female veterans that you're going to help, that you've helped so far and that you're going to help in the future. I think you've got a fantastic thing here. And, we run a business here. We've done things that we thought like, oh yeah, we probably should have thought that out a little differently. You run through those, but man, your heart is shining through on this, and, you'll get there. And it sounds like you've got some great people in place, including yourself, to impact the lives of female veterans going through the same thing that Jennifer went through.
Well, one of the, I guess two of the things that we could really use is somebody that knows nonprofit business to kind of coach us along the way. Come in, sit on our board of directors, give us the tasks, the goals that we need to do to get this thing off the ground, and then marketing. I mean, our marketing so far has been word of mouth and whatever we get out on the internet, on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, and our website, flyers in grocery stores and that kind of stuff. So, the marketing aspect has been a struggle. And as far as contributions, I'm an old school kind of guy. I believe in the mail system. Put a check, send it in the mail.
That's great.
Show up, drop it off. we do have a Facebook, PayPal and a Square Venmo set up on our website. Yep. Hit those links and drop it in that way too. There are expenses to running a business. And,
no question. Yeah.
And it's beyond the insurance.
Right.
It's things that people don't think about when we're doing those events. Those events are there to benefit those women veterans. Our first Women Veterans Day event that we did last year, we were able to recognize, she's since passed away, Myrtle Council. She was a World War II veteran, 99 years old.
Oh my gosh.
She served 1944 to 1946 as part of the Army Reserve Wave, the Naval Reserve Waves. She was a yeoman and just an absolute spitfire of a woman. She was just, to meet her, you wouldn't have known that she was 99 years old. She had so much energy. She had such a quick wit, sharp as a tack. Sadly, we lost Myrtle about 2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah, but I bet that meant the world to her and her family that you were able to honor her last year.
She said to me that she hadn't felt that special in a long time and felt more special that day than what she did on her wedding day.
Wow. That's
so
cool.
When we're making that kind of an impact on these women veterans, there's a woman who's part of our outreach in Lebanon. She felt so unvalidated. She didn't want to identify as a veteran. She didn't want anything to do with being a veteran because of things that happened to her. And there's Myrtle right there.
There she is.
She's great. She was great. She told us that it's because of our interaction with her that she felt validated. She felt recognized, and it's changed her view as to how she looks at her service. And she is now proud to be a veteran.
That's awesome.
So to have these impacts, though it may not be in the scope of the mission, it's positive impacts on these women veterans' lives.
Absolutely.
And to be able to be there for these women veterans is what Jen just wanted to be there for her sisters in arms. And I get to carry that vision on for her.
Yeah. Well, Michael, this has been great time. Thank you for sharing Jennifer's story, and your story, and everything that Team Jennifer Cahill Charities, does and has, built so far and will continue to build, going forward, to impact female veterans. Women's Veterans Day is June 12th.
Yes, sir. June 12th, the celebration. I didn't finish up the 9th, June 9th, the second part of the event.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The first day you're recognizing the women veterans.
The first day is the expo.
Day two.
Day two is a Women Veterans Day awareness ride to bring awareness to Women Veterans Day and what it is. That's going to be hosted by Rolling Saints, Bikers for Jesus, which are based out of Adams County. The Gettysburg Legion Riders are going to be a part of it. And I'm not sure what other groups are going to be there, but I'm hoping that this thing turns out to be pretty big.
So do riders, bike riders, they pay something to be involved, and then
they would put up a donation. Whatever the Rolling Saints come up with as far as they're hosting and heading up the ride, and we're just a beneficiary of it.
That's cool.
And as far as the Women Veterans Day thing, through sponsorships, we're hoping that we can do the same thing this year that we did last year. And that's with a little twist. Last year it was to treat the women veterans to a luncheon.
Great.
Which was fully sponsored. A couple of them had brought their husbands, which we weren't prepared for, unfortunately. So this year, it's to treat that woman veteran and her spouse, kids, to that luncheon. Anybody else would be, if you're not a veteran and you're not a spouse of, then it would be whatever the donation is for the meal that day. And again, we're hoping to have this event fully sponsored again this year. So is it a fundraising event per se through sponsorships? Yes, because whatever we have left over can go to the next event, go to our missions, help with reaching that woman veteran that is in need of the services that we are set up to provide.
That's cool. That's great. Like I said, definitely share with us, some of the details as we get closer to the event. Remind us of the dates, remind us that it's coming up, and we'll definitely get that out on Lancaster Connects. Make sure, we'll share out the links, for people to learn more, about Women's Veterans Day and how you're celebrating it with Team Jennifer Cahill Charities.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michael, for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Just as a last question, we didn't get to do our connection cocktail. We'll just do one connection cocktail question. I guess first lead-in question. Are you a Lancaster native? Are you a Lancaster guy all your life?
I was born in Redondo Beach, California, and moved out here in 1974.
What are you doing in Lancaster if you're on the beach in California?
My dad was in the Navy, stationed in San Diego. My grandmother had taken my mother to California for a vacation and happened to meet my mom, and here I am.
There. That's cool. So what do you like the most about the Lancaster community? You've been here for a long time. Is there something about the Lancaster community that just, gets you?
When things are going bad, how the community rallies around within the church, the neighbors, people that you don't even know. Had somebody that I don't know showed up and dropped chicken soup off when my wife passed away.
Right.
No, it was, who are you?
That's fantastic.
Well, I heard your wife passed away and thought this might help you out.
That's beautiful.
Actually, I think it was lasagna, not chicken soup, but they stopped up. Here's a tray of food. And it's and that's neat when that happens. I love the beauty here.
Yep.
You have big town buildings all over the place, and I drive 15 minutes away and I'm out in the country and walking in the woods and seeing what God put out there for me to see.
Yeah, that's great. We see that we often ask that question of our guests, especially those who have lived in Lancaster a long time, and we see that common thread, woven through really everybody's story of how the community helps support the community, right? So everybody, really has a good heart to help others in need, and we see that with charities helping other charities and people making connections with other people. And, just that story of somebody you don't even know, seeing somebody, who could use a little pick me up and, delivered food to you. So that's really cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you,
Michael, this has been a great time. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer's story and, the great things you're doing with Team Jennifer Cahill Charities. We look forward to sharing your event coming up here in June.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a great afternoon.
You too.
Yep, thanks. All right. Fantastic time spent there with Michael. Appreciate his time and all the hard work that he and others are doing with Team Jennifer Cahill Charities. And like he said, it's all volunteer run. So if you're listening and you can help in any way, whether that's volunteering or financially or attending the Women's Veterans Day event coming up in June, please do. Nonprofits and charitable organizations need our help. Good people doing great things for other people. Community-based support is where it's all at. All right. Well, we're about to wrap up the show here. Just a couple of quick things. You can watch this show and past episodes, LancasterConnects.com. Go to the website. You can see the episodes page there. We're on episode 127. I believe Michael was our 127th guest. So there are a lot of past shows, a lot of great organizations that we've highlighted over the years. If you'd like to be on the show, go to LancasterConnects.com/guest. And you could just fill out a little form there to be a guest. Tell us why you'd be a good fit to be on the show. I think at the moment we've got guests booked through March into April. So we've got a couple months worth of guests under our belt here going forward. I do want to support our sponsor, Gardner's Mattress and More, the business that I co-own with Jeff and the four walls with which I sit within. Just a quick testimonial for Gardner's Mattress and More. We had someone named Sarah purchase a mattress within the last couple weeks, and she gave us a nice little shout out here on Google. She said the service was excellent, knowledgeable, and thorough. I could tell he, talking about Drew, had lots of experience and was honest. It's a huge difference dealing with a business that has been around for years and is trustworthy. And the process was easy, and you can't beat a 20-year warranty. Highly recommend Gardner's if you want a great product and no hassle. No hassle is what we are all about. Look, it's mattresses. It's not rocket science. We know how to help you find the mattress that's the best fit for your sleep needs. And if you allow us the opportunity to do that, we will deliver on that promise 100% of the time. So, thank you to Sarah for leaving that great review. And thank you for your business. And thank you to all of our customers, whether you leave a review or not. You all mean as much to us as everybody else. So, I think that's about the show. Again, great guest, Michael Cahill from Team Jennifer Cahill Charities. Give them a look. You can find them on Facebook and on their website. And Women's Veterans Day in June, we'll talk more about that as it gets closer. We'll share that event. And I think that's the show for this week. I hope Jeffrey is feeling better for next week. We'll get him back on here. Missing the Ben and Jeff tomfoolery. It's just not the same as Colo's show. So Jeff, heal up there. And I think that's it. Till the next connection. See you on